Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sid Jones. Welcome back to the Sid Jones Network. This is live on YouTube. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a live presentation of my review of the new album, Turn Up That Dial from the Dropkick Murphys. Now, before we get started, I just want to say it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube, man. It's been a long time. I'm still getting the hang of things. Like, I remember I tried broadcasting live a couple of times on it. It was just a fucking maddening. So now I'm back. I'm glad to be back thanks to a Facebook ban, which is a weird ban. They made it so I couldn't go live for 30 fucking days. Now I'm still allowed to comment, still allowed to post, can't go live from anything that I'm attached to. It fucking sucks. So without further ado, we're going to get into this. I'm pumped. I'm excited. This is phenomenal. I cannot express how happy I am to be here doing this. This album in its entirety is solid front to back. Now, all their albums, the majority of their albums, have at least one or two songs that I'm not, really a fan of. But when it comes to the Dropkick Murphys and it comes to their music, 90% of it's solid. 95, 99% of it's fucking solid. My least favorite song on Meanest of Times was Echoes on A Street. I couldn't stand that song. One of my favorite. I'd skip it every time, right? On Blackout, there's the World Full of Hate, not my favorite. I'd say like even Do or Die, like Firestarter Karaoke, fucking on The Gang's All Here. There was songs I just wasn't a fan of. And so to hear this, and for the last song to be I Wish You Were Here, which when it came out, I wasn't a fan of it. I don't like the slow music. I'm just not a fan of the slow shit. I'm not a fan of slow music. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. It's not my forte, huh? Sid, that was more Brooklyn than it was Boston. The fuck? Anyway, moving along. So Turn Up That Dial. When they started hinting at it and they were talking about an October release, I was stoked and I was excited. Part of me was thinking maybe they put out too much. Inquisitor in the building, man. I was just thinking about you. Man. I miss you, brother. You're the shit. So it's good to see you here, man. It's good to see you. I'm kind of glad I got this band now. Just know that you're good and you're okay. I hope things are well. Salute to you all the way across the pond. Things are a little different over here on YouTube. I've noticed like the dynamic has changed significantly. Now all that's gone over to Facebook. It's so weird. It's like being in the cold bed. Being back here on YouTube. It's like being back in your cold bed. After like being gone for like a month on vacation, you crawl back in under those sheets and blanket. It's crazy. So anyways, back to what I was saying about Turn Up That Dial. When it came to their promotion, Smash It Up, Mick Jones Nicked My Pudding. The hell was the other single they put out? The Queen of Suffolk County and the other one there. The other one they put out. Thanks, man. I'm doing okay. Glad to hear it. So good songs, but I felt like they put out too much. You feel me on that? Like if they would have just kept playing some of those songs for the live stream, so like when they're streaming up from Fenway, or their St. Patty's show that they did last year and this year, I kind of felt like they should have saved some of those instead of making them into songs. Like Mick Jones Nicked My Pudding, I felt like was a good song. I thought the animation was kind of cool, but there was one song on the album that really stuck out as soon as I listened to it. As soon as I listened to it, this song stuck out to me. It was amazing. It was absolutely phenomenal. And before I say this, and before I get into this song as to why like this is the song that stands out the most, that took me by surprise. This band has been known to be political on like when it comes to union reps, when it comes to this country and soldiers and things like that. We've heard it in several songs all throughout their discography. Songs about the working class, right? I mean, Blackout's got the Workers song and it's got Buried Alive, both about workers. Buried Alive being about the miners that were hunkered down and sealed below the Earth's surface. So again, we've seen a lot of that, but what we have not seen is for them to directly attack a president, even though they were featured on the Rock Against Bush albums, right? They came out back in the fucking 90s, 2000s. When those came out, the Murphys were on it, but it wasn't anti-Bush. Now, this song that came out, The Chosen Few or Chosen Ones? Chosen Few, I do believe. Let me check my Spotify here. If you guys have not been listening to the album, make sure you guys are doing so. If you can't afford to buy the album, make sure you guys are checking it out on Spotify for absolutely free. It's solid front to back. Like I said, minus that last song, it's called Chosen Few. I was right. So Chosen Few. Now, this is one where I felt like should have been a single. Never mind Mick Jones, Nick My Pudding. It should have been this song, especially during lockdown, during the times of the pandemic and things like that. So I thought that was a huge miss. But at the same time, I understand why they wouldn't make that into a single, make that into the music video. And my main reason for understanding this is because you wouldn't want to chase your fans away, because this is a very anti-Trump song, but it's also about unity, coming together, and about something I've always been preaching: compromise, right? So I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled that the Dropkick Murphys have done this and have made this song. I just wish it would have been pushed into a single, even though it wasn't. A music video would have been solid. I hope it's never too late to make a music video for that song, let me tell you. Is it a little out of date now? Slightly. I mean, because now we're in vaccinations and all that. But the main message of the song is we're the laughingstock of the country. Basically, everything under Trump's presidency is basically what he was saying, like laughingstock of the world. Definitely a Ken Casey-ish kind of song. I feel like more so than Al Bar. But regardless, I still liked it. Matter of fact, that was the one song I listened to, aside from the releases prior to the album, because I just couldn't wait. That's the one that I caught myself listening to on repeat. So the track listing real quick, if you guys have not been paying attention, if you guys have no idea what's going on, I know there's a lot of other crazy news that's happening. We're going to keep it about turn up that dial today. So just real quick, turn up that dial. Leeboy. Now Leeboy, Leeboy, this song is actually about their new bagpipe player. And also, they did something really cool with this for their 25th anniversary album, which it should have been marketed as well. That if I do anything and it's the 25th anniversary of, you will know it, because it's going to be plastered on everything. Everybody will see that it is my 25th anniversary. Mark my words on that. So you got Leeboy about their new bagpipe player, but they also make a reference to Spicy McHaggis. Yeah, like Spicy McHaggis, one hell of a guy. I'm like, damn, just damn. So that song, to me, I was kind of like, okay, that's one of those ones you save for the album. You don't make that into a single. That's one of those ones that you put on as a surprise track, right? Of course, Middle Finger. We all know that one. Queen of Suffolk County, hands down, one of the best Murphy songs. Mick Jones, Nick My Pudding, great. Happy Birthday, MF. Now, on YouTube, I'm not allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. So, Happy Birthday, Motherfucker, is what that means. So, Happy Birthday, Motherfucker is the name of the song, and it's actually about shitting on people that brag about that it's their birthday. All right? Inquisitor writes, I'm so late to the party with this band. Bro, 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory was good, but this album surpasses that album. I'm just letting you know that right now. We're going to kind of break into that just a little bit, because I got plans to make that for my next video. Good as Gold. Now, this I liked. One thing I should mention with this album, in the whole album, the whole specs of it, it's basically sitting in your room and listening to a vinyl record in 2021 or 2020, whichever. But in modern era, it's mainly just sitting there rocking out to music, right? Good as Gold is essentially just listening to music and thanking the bands for sticking around and for being them, right? Like you never praised me, but you never bashed me. Like, you were always just there for me, so I could knock that pin down on the fucking vinyl and watch it and you make it spin, listen to music. So I thought that was kind of like a little cool throwback. I saw this meme not too long ago where it's like, hey, do you remember these days? And it was somebody putting in a cassette player. It's like a drawing thing. And they get their headphones on while reading the lyric sheets of inside the cassette. So this was actually kind of like a nod to that. But this is definitely about vinyl, which is good marketing, considering that's what a lot of their bundles are. A lot of the things that are available over at the Dropkick Murphys website. If you guys haven't checked it out, please make sure you do. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. When I saw the shirt, I immediately had to get it. I got this the day after their live stream. Is when I ordered this, and I got it not last weekend, but the weekend before. So honest to God, I love their products. I love their shirts. I love their hats. I've got the Murphys boxing hat. I've got two hats. One's beat to shit, and then I got another one, Shamrocks with anchors on it. So, huge fan of the Murphys. Been down with them since 2005. So I love them. Smash It Up, as we all know, it's about smashing shit up. It's also, but there's a deeper meaning to that song, and it's about being old. I never owned a single thing, and I couldn't pay the bills. talking about, you know, when they were struggling. And I don't mean as a band, but as people struggling. But now, you know, they kind of miss those days, which we hear a lot of from artists and from bands when they're like, you know, I miss struggling. Travis Barker recently just said in an interview, yeah, I miss being poor and struggling because it was at least fun. Now I can have everything I want. It's kind of like, I'd say it's kind of like that episode of Twilight where this mobster dies and he goes to heaven and he's like, hey, so like, what's the deal here? And he's like, oh, you get to have everything you want. It turns out that utopia is actually hell. You can never leave. Like everything's going to be perfect all the time. So I kind of like that with Smash It Up when they're like, you know, I miss that. And that's a message that I think that it goes well with punk rockers and hip hop artists and anybody who's really started from rags to riches, essentially. So I thought that was cool. City by the Sea, basically missing home, missing, you know, smelling the water of the sea. Okay. Back to Chosen Few, which follows up after Smash It Up. So Chosen Few, I kind of want to play this for you guys right quick. I kind of want to play just a little bit of it. I don't remember how much time I've got to be able to play a song on YouTube without getting a strike, but we're going to go ahead and do that because I just want to play you just a little quick. It's a good sing-along tune. It's good. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. As much as it might piss off some people, we're gonna do it here. So turn this up. So there you go. Like it's the hook is amazing. It's definitely a patriotic song for sure. It's patriotic. I love it. I think it's a great track. Again, that's just to sample that for you. City by the Sea again. You know, wishing about being home. And then, of course, ending with I Wish You Were Here, which is about those that have passed that are no longer here with us. I believe that was dedicated to one of Albar's family members. I can't recall if it was his dad, but it was somebody close to Albar, I do believe. Now, back to the whole thing of this is so the album opens up with the self-titled song "Turn Up That Dial" for the album. And what I think is so great about that, it sets the tone of you sitting in your room listening to what you're about to listen to on vinyl. So I thought that was kind of like a cool little thing because as you guys know, their albums are very much, they're themed. They're definitely themed albums, minus their singles collections. I mean, but even their EPs are very themed. So Turn Up That Dial, it'd be safe to say it is 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory Part 2 because there is 11 songs on this one as well, which makes me wonder, back when 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory came out, was this not the album they were planning on releasing that following November? Because if you guys remember, in January, when 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory dropped, we got this years later. But Ken Casey said that in November they were anticipating another album for that year. So my guess is this was the album that was supposed to be 11 songs and the message to it. I think it fits, and especially that they had probably a lot of these songs done. Or are we going to get a singles collection volume 3 where it's a lot of their unreleased works? No, I think that I think it was friends of the band and family members of the band that actually wrote the majority of these songs. Which is cool. But I mean, I never understood why, they have to write their own songs. I'm like, why? The message is still the same. It's dope. Yeah, Inquisitor, absolutely. It is a phenomenal album. I would say this, after listening to it front to back on multiple occasions and going back and listening to Good as Gold, Smash It Up, Chosen Few, Mick Jones, Nick My Pudding, Queen of Suffolk County, Middle Finger, Lee Boy, and Turn Up That Dial, like to be able to go back and like listen to those songs. City by the Sea is not bad. It's just not, the best one. And again, I wish you were here. I'm not a fan of slow songs. All right. It's got to sound angry, mean, pissed off, and hungry. Like that's what it's got to sound like. It's got to have some sort of balls to it, some sort of testicular fortitude to it. It's got to have dignity to it. So looking at this album at 39 minutes and 11 seconds is how long it is, which is a short album. You could listen to that in 39 minutes and 11 seconds. And if you want to cut out the last song, I Wish You Were Here, you've cut off like what? It's now 34 minutes, something like that. I don't know. I don't do math. I just sit here and talk. So with all that in mind, this album, I would have to say, is better than 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory. And I'm going to get a lot of shit for this from a lot of the Murphys fans out there, from a lot of the punk rockers out there by saying this. It is their fourth best album. That's right. In the 25 years they've been making music, they're doing 10 studio albums. This is their fourth best one. Yeah, I'll say it. It surpassed 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory. It surpassed Meanest of Times. It surpassed Warriors Code. And I'm not even joking when I say this. And this is the part that's going to nail me to a cross. It surpassed Do or Die. But again, without some of those albums, we wouldn't have had Turn Up That Dial. Now, the promotional material that they did when they would release videos with these puppets, there was one that they did yesterday. It was like a little skit that they did where they were like, yeah, like it's Dropkick Murphys. It's their 25th anniversary. So let's call it this and let's call it that. Ken Casey comes around the corner and goes, no, guys, it's Turn Up That Dial. The album's already got a title to it. Like that's the title of it. And which was cool because it's like a punch in the shoulder, not like a punch in the face or a kick to the groin, but definitely like a little love tap of like to those that were shitting on the title of this album. I think Turn Up That Dial is great. People were shitting on the artwork. I wasn't down for the artwork, okay? Now, at first, I was kind of, because this is what it looks like. Like, you guys have seen the thumbnail, but that's what it looks like, right? As you can, yeah, I mean, look at all those hearts on there. Like, it's on so many of my playlists. Again, just, you can't go wrong with this album. But it definitely surpassed my expectations, because I was nervous when they released too much of the music. When they released too much of it, I was kind of like, I don't know. So honestly, the artwork grew on me. I kind of like the colors. I like the boombox. I think it's excellent. I think it's great. I've got nothing bad to say about the album, man. Like I said, except for that last song. Again, it's not that I hate this song. I've heard much worse. Again, if you told me you got to pick I Wish You Were Here or Echoes on A Street, I'd say you can play I Wish You Were Here 100 times over. I did not care for that song, Echoes on A Street, and I was not a fan of Fairmount Hill. Okay? Fairmount Hill. It shows you how much I really liked that song. I really didn't. So that is the Turn Up That Dial review. As far as it being their fourth best album, in my honest opinion, it's something different from the Dropkick Murphys, which I like from bands. See, I don't want everything to sound exactly the same, which is why I don't understand these Dropkick Murphys fans that say, oh, they haven't done a good album since Do or Die. So you essentially are a Street Dogs fan, is what you are. Now, for those of you that don't understand what I was saying by that, Mike, who by the way killed it with Guns of Brixton, I would even say that, and I don't. It's not even like anything against Mike. I'm just not a Street Dogs guy. I'm not a fan of the sound. I just Do or Die was fine, but I've always leaned towards Al Barr, especially live. Al Barr's vocals to Mike's. Now, I'm not sitting there saying Mike's a bad guy or anything like that. I'm just saying like Mike's kind of, I'd say slightly monotoned. Okay, I'd say slightly monotoned. And if you're gonna say that they haven't done a good album since Do or Die, then you're honestly not a Murphys fan. Because the only thing I can think of that sounds different, I mean, even the quality of the album being low, but again, you got to think it was 1996 when that album came out. So let's play fair here. It's not going to be mastered to today's production. But if that's what you like, then I'd suggest go listen to Street Dogs and some of the older things. If you say that, then you're not really a Murphys fan. And I think that's fair to say. Because me personally, I could go forward and listen to Sing Loud, Sing Proud and be absolutely fucking fine with life. One of those albums that's good front to back, by the way. Another good album that's front to back, solid front to back, is Going Out in Style. They're one of those bands that gets better, but everybody remembers Blackout. I don't really have to get into why that's not their best album. It's got good songs on it, though. It really does. It's got great songs on it. You know, Warriors Code, I would even say, is like parred up with Blackout as far as like it's got its hits and misses, right? But I honestly think that Warriors Code, for me, it's just listening to Shipping Up to Boston all the damn time and hearing it all the time and hearing people say, when I try and have a conversation with somebody about the Murphys, that song comes up every time. And that's a way to ruin a relationship with me. If you really want to get into my heart and you really want to win your way in, all you got to say is something like this. Hey, Sid, do you like the Dropkick Murphys, son? I'm like, oh yeah, sweetheart. I love the Dropkick Murphys. And you're like, well, guess what my favorite song was of theirs? I'm going to buckle. I'm going to grab my seat just like this and go, don't say it. Don't say it. But you blow my mind with like, I thought Going Out in Style was a great song. I thought it was a great album. I will get on one knee and propose to you. Because it's when I talk to people about Dropkick Murphys, that's the song that comes up, especially with people that don't follow them like I do, which sounds creepy when I say that. Inquisitor writes, it's very 1980 with the boombox, goes with what you're saying about the album though. Right. So I didn't understand why it was called Turn Up That Dial at first. Like there was Middle Finger, Smash It Up, which I honestly thought Smash It Up, Mick Jones, Nick My Pudding should have just been on their own EP, should have been on their own project, because I would have liked to have gotten a little bit of mystery from this album. I compare this album to a stripper, where when a stripper's got her fishnet leggings and those boots on, and she's got that top that you can almost see through, but not quite. There's enough mystery there to make me want to know what's under there. And I felt like what the Dropkick Murphys did with this album is they kind of took the top off completely, but left the bottom on to where I still want to know what the rest of these songs are on the album. Matter of fact, I was trying to figure out what HBDMF stood for. I was Googling that, and what I found was it was like a union thing. It was a social work thing or something to that effect, some sort of whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense, but that's not the right abbreviation for it. It was like off by like 1 or 2 letters. So I'm like, so that's not it, unless it's like a dig at it and they did something different with it. It's not what I was expecting. It's one of those songs though that's kind of like it does for this album what Seasons Upon Us did for Signed and Sealed in Blood. Okay, so again, they've if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but they haven't beaten it to death, and thank God they have not done another song that's kind of like that. That's going to be as big as Shipping Up to Boston. I would say the closest song to that would be Chosen Few. All right, that's like the closest one to it because it's easy to sing along to. It's memorable, but I don't think that they could ever touch something like Shipping Up to Boston, and we can all just kind of thank God for that. Okay, now again, I love the Murphys. If they play Shipping Up to Boston, I'm just kind of like tired of it. Like I love cotton candy ice cream. It's my favorite ice cream, but if that's all I had in my freezer to eat for a week, I'm probably going to go a while without not wanting cotton candy ice cream. But I love cotton candy ice cream. It is the far superior ice cream that is out there. Okay? It is superior to any other ice cream. You can fight me on that. All right? If you haven't had cotton candy ice cream, I feel for you. I feel really bad for you. Anyways, moving along. So, as far as turn up that dial, Inquisitor's absolutely right. It's a boombox that kind of goes with that theme. Also, Mick Jones, Nick My Pudding. If you guys don't know this story, Mick Jones, member of the Clash, it was Joe Strummer that had actually inspired Ken Casey to want to play an instrument, to be in a band. That came from Joe Strummer. That came from the Clash. So for Ken, that was like, holy shit. So of course they did Guns of Brixton, and they've done several other Clash covers. And what's funny is the Dropkick Murphys, and I'm gonna again get nailed to a cross for saying this, they can outdo the Clash in their covers of their songs. Absolutely they can. Take Guns of Brixton from the Dropkick Murphys, right? Despite the fact that it's not Al Barr singing it, which they should do a version of Al Barr singing it. It's criminal if they don't. But you take that Guns of Brixton and compare it to the Clashes, it goes harder and faster. It's amazing. Then you've got, of course, other cover songs that they have done, which they've always usually got one on an album. On their albums, except the last 2, they have done covers for. And I'm pretty sure maybe there wasn't one on Signed and Sealed in Blood. I could have sworn there was. I'm going to look that up now real quick. Now that I'm sitting here, I'm going to check that out. I'm going to look up that track listing because I want to know if I'm right. Give me 1 second here. I was not anticipating on talking about their entire discography yet. I was going to save that. Let's see. Prisoner song? No, that's definitely Jimmy Collins' Wake. Pretty sure that's an original. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are all original songs. Let's see. I'm just going to check the wiki page real quick. Holy shit, it got number 9 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. Fucking, that's excellent. That is great. The singles were Rose Tattoo, Seasons Upon Us, Boys Are Back, and Out of Our Heads. I couldn't think of any better songs to have for that. Seasons Upon Us is a good single, all things considered. Let's see. Background. Let's go with that. Yeah, it looks like everything was original from what I can tell. It looks like it. Jimmy Collins' Wake. Lyrics by Richard Johnson. Yeah, it all looks original. Cool. All right, so that's neat. All right. Decent. That's decent. All right. So I take that back. 3 albums consecutively. They have not done a cover song. Going Out in Style, they of course did the Irish cover for Irish Rover. Again, the best version out there for Irish Rover, I do believe, next to the Blackguards. And if you have not listened to the Blackguards and you like that Irish music, listen to the Blackguards. They're absolutely phenomenal. But I would honestly say that Blackguards and Dropkick Murphys have the best version of Irish Rover. And I've got my reasons for liking the Blackguards version, but I also like the Murphys version. Both absolutely amazing and that's off of Going Out in Style. So from what I can tell, for 3 albums, and 100% people liked this album. Get this, Google users for Signed and Sealed in Blood 100% like this album. Now today's the release date for Turn Up That Dial, and of course it's like right there in my search, so I'm just going to click it, and we're about to see what people are saying about this album review. Dropkick Murphys, Turn Up That Dial, 9 hours ago. Another that's from Hot Press. Louder reviewed it 13 hours ago. Turn Up That Dial is already talked about on Wikipedia. Album review from Excess Noise. Sid Jones is reviewing it right now. TIFF magazine, or Riff magazine, not TIFF magazine. That's probably a different magazine entirely. We got Kerrang reviewing it. Amazon's got reviews on it already. Louder Than Raw has a review on it. This is amazing. So honestly, I think we can honestly say that this is an album, probably their most anticipated album since Going Out in Style. Now, I was looking forward to another album from them after Signed and Sealed in Blood, but that album is just so good, and it just it tied me over for a long time. Long time that album tied me over. And then when 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory came out, I listened to it first round, and I found like 3 or 4 songs that I liked from it, which was my same response from the first album I ever listened to from the Dropkick Murphys, which was their 2002 live album. That was my first time ever listening to the Dropkick Murphys, was a live album. And that is a treat. That is something you only ever get once. All right. You only ever get that once, to listen to a band live before you hear their studio album. I can't think of anybody else, but I don't have many conversations with other people, as you can tell. So, it was one of those ones that I was excited for. Now, with 11 Short Stories and with their 2002 album, their 2002 live album, I started off liking only 3 or 4 songs off that album. The more I listened to it, the more songs I found that I liked. Okay, at first I didn't like Rocky Road to Dublin. Like, that song took a while to grow on me before I liked it. Skinhead on the MBTA, but on that album it was called Bloody Pig Pile. Rightfully so. It's great. I wasn't a fan of it at first listen. I think it was Boys on the Docks, For Boston, and Barroom Hero were the 3 songs that I absolutely loved from the Dropkick Murphys. They were the 3 that I loved. 3. Just those 3. And then the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. Same thing happened with 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory. I didn't care for Sandlot. At first, I didn't even like 4, 15, 13. That's Patriots Day, by the way. For those of you that are wondering what that number is, if you've not been keeping up with the Murphys, that's what it was. It was about Patriots Day, the Boston bombing. So that their album closed out with that. And at first I didn't like it. And then the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. Same thing happened with the rest of that album. Honestly, there's not a song that I'd skip over. Okay. I had a hat I thought was slightly cartoonish, but certainly deserved a music video. Which shocked me with 11 Short Stories is I don't recall getting a music video for that album. So they would do it with acoustic sets. They promote it with acoustic sets. They do performances with it, interviews. They did Q&As, but I don't recall a single music video getting released for anything on that album. And I think that's pretty criminal, because Rebels with a Cause, I think, has a beautiful, beautiful set. Nope, I lied. They did. I'm sorry. I fucking just remembered. Blood. They had Blood, that music video. Pan My Way. They had the music video for that. Damn, I forgot that those songs were on that album. Holy shit. God damn. Yeah. So I was sadly mistaken. They just weren't the songs that I guess thought they would. I don't know why. That just slipped my mind. That's weird. Must be this garbage I'm drinking. Anyway, moving forward. So when I listened to Blood and Pan My Way, it was good. It was good. But when I listened to Blood, I was like, it's good. It's fine. But when I listened to Going Out in Style for the first time and saw that music video, nothing got me more excited. Nothing got me more excited than that. I was pumped and thrilled, and I was listening to it on repeat. I'm constantly listening to it. So I was really happy about that. I was really happy to have had that song and of course, Hang 'em High, and which I think also deserved a music video. That would have been cool. I feel like it would have been like an Ailstorm-ish kind of music video, but still good nonetheless. However, with this, I feel like that they under promoted 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory, and they kind of over promoted this one. If that makes any bit of sense. Like, I felt like they gave away way too much on this album. And I feel like, again, they should have made Chosen Few one of the singles. Take away Mick Jones' Nicked My Pudding. Take that one away and do the cartoon video for Chosen Few. That's my only gripe about it. Honestly, it's an A album. It is an A. I wouldn't say it's an A+, right? It doesn't hit as hard as some of their others. I'm sorry. There's other songs that I like that other people kind of forgot about, like from Sing Loud, Sing Proud. My highlight of that album was actually Ramble and Roll. Probably my favorite song on there. If I had to pick one, Good Rats was good too. Holy shit that I like that song. And the remix that they did for their singles collection was excellent. I thought that was great, right? So when it comes to this album, I feel like that was their only hiccup. Putting Smash It Up and Mick Jones by putting on this album anyways, instead of doing just like a 5-track EP back in the fall and then releasing this later on. I mean, you could argue that all day and night, but with all those red flags, with all those hesitations, and with all those I would have done's and what in my ideas of it, aside from that, even in spite of all that, it's still an A album. So I'm not trying to let the promotion get in the way of my opinion on it. It's still, I would say this is the best album of 2021. When 2021 ends, when we hit December 31st, 2021, to that day, this will still be the album held in highest regard. Now, I'm curious to see where it charts, and that's going to be difficult. I have not gone to the music shop to see if there is a hard copy available. I hope there is. I hope that, but Albar didn't, they never said it's in stores now. It's literally for online. And because I'm hesitant when it comes to albums. Now, you'd think, being a huge Dropkick Murphys fan, that I am, to have traveled all the way from Michigan to New Hampshire, to have seen them perform live in my home state, to have seen them in the Grand Rapids Orbit Room on March 10, 2007, to have known all these dates that I've seen them at, down to the day, and then to see them in Grand Rapids at 20 Monroe Live, right? At 20 Monroe Live in February of 2017, I would say that's very telling of how great this band truly is. And they're the one band that, when it was Real Big Fish and Anti-Flag, and I've never seen either of them live, right? Except Real Big Fish, but that was at a Warped Tour and that doesn't count. But I never got to see Anti-Flag or Real Big Fish live, and I was like, yeah, I want to go see that. But then I found out the Murphys had a show, and I'm like, no, fuck that. Even though I just saw them a few months ago in New Hampshire, I want to go to Grand Rapids and go see them. That was my birthday gift that I got. It was tickets to go see the Murphys, which I was excited about. Like, I could never, if you told me, like I said, tomorrow night they got a concert, and I'm excited for that. I've cleared my plans to make sure I get to watch this show, to make sure I get to see the live stream. I'm pumped for that. Like I said, great band, absolute solid band. Again, I've got my critiques, but I'll say this: they could do no wrong in my eyes. And the one album that I dislike the most, we're actually going to be getting to that in a video later on, where I'll actually be discussing their albums from worst to best. And this is going to piss off everybody as well. So that is in the works as well. So if you guys want to check out the Dropkick Murphys live stream, it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's United States time, Inquisitor. I'm excited. I can't wait. Even though I just saw them live, a month ago, I get to see them live again, plus listen to their album all damn day. I really hope that you guys will check it out. If you guys have Spotify, I'm sure somebody's uploaded the whole album to YouTube by now, even if you wanted to do that. But like I was saying before, when I'm hesitant, as much as I love the Murphys, I'm not the kind of guy that jumps out to go buy an album. But because the Dropkick Murphys have put in fucking work, last year with their streaming up from Boston, which, by the way, I will say this, That was my favorite concert of theirs, next to the ones that I've been to. Okay, I liked it even better than when they were at Fenway. I liked that show better than this last St. Patty's Day show. That one really stands out because that one was filled with so many surprises, things I wasn't expecting. This last one did too. I was not expecting to ever hear Skinhead on the MBTA ever the fuck again. And this last live stream, we got to see that. We get to hear it live. Like for the first time since 2016. Think about that for a minute. It's been a long time since we got to hear Skinhead on the MBTA. That is insane to me. So yeah, there were some surprises they pulled out on this one too, but I'm still telling you right now, last year's was so damn good as far as their set list. They even did a Clash cover that I wasn't even expecting, that I have expected to be on this album, even though it wasn't. I'm not completely upset about it or anything, but I will say that it's great to see the Murphys doing this. But with all that, I had to go out and support them by buying their merch. If I can't, if I'm hesitant on owning a CD, because I'll be honest with you, if I bought the CD, it would just be sealed. All right, it would be in its plastic and its cellophane. It'd be sitting somewhere in my office, probably over there with my other stacks of CDs. Which I haven't bought a CD. I think the last one I actually got was a gift, and it was Against All Authorities, Restoration, Chaos, and Order. And because I've got Spotify, it's sealed. It's got sentimental value to me. So I had to get that. But I'm not a CD purchaser, but I'm telling you this right now. It's one of those ones that I wished I'd have gotten and put in a pre-order for. Because when you order a CD from anybody, your favorite band, your favorite artist, you're always gambling 12, 13, 14, 15 bucks, right? What if you don't like the album? That's the only thing you got out of it, right? It could be my best friend in the entire world. They drop an album like, hey, buy my CD. I always clinch just a little bit. And then I listen to it on Spotify and I'm like, yeah, I'm either A, glad I didn't buy the album, or B, I wish I had. And in this case, I wish I bought the album, but instead I got myself a dope shirt. If you guys, these are still available over at the Murphys website. Last I checked, if you guys are interested, on the back, it says, I keep my fist raised up. And it says Dropkick Murphys deck on the back with established in 1996. And then here, of course, as you guys can see, it's the Shamrock and Roll guy, fist up, middle finger. And he's running. I thought that would kind of appeal to the Juggalo crowd that used to watch my shit until they turned into fucking Fayweather fucking motherfuckers. Yeah, fuck them. So, again, it's an A album. It is an A album. Solid. Again, minus the last track, which I think it'll probably end up growing on me. It could be one of those ones that, like, you don't have to skip it. Okay? It's not like Echoes on A Street where you immediately hit the skip button. If it played, the world's not going to end. It's just not their best song. But it's also not their worst. If you guys are interested, check it out on Spotify. Find it on YouTube. Watch the music videos for Queen of Suffolk County. Watch the music video for Mick Jones, Nick My Pudding. Watch the music video for Smash It Up. And watch the music video for Middle Finger. Now, I liked Middle Finger, Queen of Suffolk County. I didn't think that there would be a song on there. And this was another hang-up of mine. When I first saw this was coming out, and they've already released so many singles for it, I remember thinking, the rest of it's probably going to be meh. But as it turns out, there's a lot of songs on there that I actually liked more than some of the ones I did a music video for. Chosen Few, I liked more than, I would say, the rest of the album, aside from Middle Finger. Middle Finger is still the one that I hold in highest regard. But I've been listening to it since it was available on Spotify, right? Like, since it came out on Spotify, it's at the top of my playlist right now on my repeat list. I'll show you that real quick. If you guys don't believe me, I'll show you that. Let's see, where is it at here? On repeat, bam, right there, Middle Finger. I know I've got like a contrasting. Like, I'm just gonna show you this real quick, like just so you guys can see like what my thoughts are. Yeah, so that's on my repeat. Funny, I've got Hate Conquers All, People So Stupid, like two polarizing songs. They couldn't be further apart from each other, and I like both of them. Yeah, see, I enjoy music for fucking music, right? Yeah, dude, I love this t-shirt. I like I said, the Dropkick Murphys, anytime I've ever gotten a shirt from them, whether it was here, I'll see if I can, oh yeah, there you go. You can see it a little bit better now, right? Oh, it's solid. And like, it's full print. The shirts that I can't stand are the one that are squares or like have like actual pictures of the people on them. Like those, like I wanted that Smash It Up shirt, and then when I saw them like performing live on the back, I'm like, it feels, how do I say it, Walmart-ish. Does that make any sense to anybody? Like in like those ones, it's like a square, like you can tell it's a picture. It's just slapped on there. I hate that design. So when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, that it meets my requirements for being able to wear it out in public. I'm very happy to. Like I've got one says, "Let's go to work" from Reservoir Dogs shirt, and I wear that to like fuck off. Is basically what I do. Inquisitor's at least on the same page with me, so I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm very picky when it comes to t-shirts. I've got one, it's an eagle, it says Dead End Kids on it. I got that bitch for $10. It's out of print. It was a limited run shirt. I managed to find it for $10. Brand new. And it's an officially licensed one, believe me. When you get a Murphy shirt, you can definitely check the quality of it. You can tell whether it's a reprint or whether it's an authentic shirt. And I only get my Dropkick Murphy shit authentic. I will never ever buy a knockoff of Dropkick Murphys anything. The patches are all legitimate that I've got. I got them at the shows, by the way. Any Dropkick Murphys patches you find on me, I got at a show. And there's a hoodie out there that burned, and I miss it dearly. But regardless, when it comes to this album and it comes to its promotion, they're two different animals, and I get that. So with that in mind, whether or not they should have done an EP back in the fall and then release just an album with no singles on it, and it's one of those ones that's one of those debates that I've got in my head, right? If you don't give me enough on it, I don't know if I can trust it. But if you give me one song and it's a banger, I'll go out and buy the rest of the album because I'm very curious to hear it. Now that I've got Spotify, like that's what happened with Restoration of Chaos and Order. The day that album came out, the only song I'd never heard Radio Waves or any of the other singles. The only single I heard from it was All Ages Show. I heard that single and I went out and bought the album the day it came out. And I was kind of hoping for something like that, or having like an A side and a B side for the album for Turn Up That Dial. That didn't happen, but I'm not disappointed. And again, it's one of those ones that I would buy that album. If I come across it at the store, I'll probably pick it up and grab it. Right? I would probably do that. If I like walked by the shelf and it was like, hey, turn up that dial right here, I'd be like, yeah, I'm taking that shit. Even though I've already got my Spotify, I listened to it 100 times over today. No joke. I got up this morning when I knew that album was coming out. It was Christmas. Okay. It is Christmas to a 5-year-old in this bitch. When Dropkick Murphys are releasing something new with a timestamp on it, nothing else in the world matters. I'll cut a live stream short. I will end a live stream. I will cancel plans with the family to listen to those guys live, to watch their videos, to listen to their promos, their Q&As, listen to their new single, watch a new music video. It's not about being the first, but it's like, it's that eagerness and that I can't wait. Even though it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, ladies, you've had sex with a man for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and it's still been the best sex of your life. So don't give me that shit, all right? Don't give me that shit. You know it's good shit. You know it's good, no matter how short it might be, doesn't stop it from being absolutely phenomenal. And that's what the Murphys have constantly delivered. When Menace to Times was promoted and I heard State of Massachusetts, I was sold. Matter of fact, State of Massachusetts, and I believe it was Famous for Nothing. I can't remember what the other song was on there, but I remember seeing State of Massachusetts and one or two other songs that were out prior to its release. And I went out and bought Menace to Times that day. Like, I've done it. And then I listened to Echoes on A Street. I'm like, I can skip that song the rest of my life and never hear it again. Never hear it again and be perfectly okay. And I still went out and bought that album, right? But with this one, they put out 4 or 5 singles out of 11. And I'm like, that's a lot. If I had 11, I don't think I'd put out 4 or 5 singles. I'd give you 1 single and a music video for a different one, right? So yeah, they'd technically be 2 singles, but you'd get 1 music video. And I'd hope that they would be badass enough and good enough to get people's attention. With that in mind, I think that's one of the reasons why Chosen Few was not a music video and not a single. And I think that when you listen to it front to back, I think you'll understand why. Because it could, with the way that people are right now, it could drive them away. Like, get this. I'm not a guy that supports Biden. Matter of fact, I would say this. Ken Casey and I do not see eye to eye on politics. But that doesn't stop me from wearing a shirt, listening to music, tuning in, and them being probably my favorite band of all time. Hands down, I'd probably say this. They are my favorite band of all time. I love the Murphys. I think that they are absolutely phenomenal. They always put out good work. Nobody loves the fans more than that band does. Um, to give you an example here, back when they were doing the acoustic set to promote 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory, Ken Casey was at a radio show. There was a radio thing. They had a stage and like a barricade set up. And Ken said, tell them to get as close to the stage as they possibly can. Ken's even said it. He doesn't like barricades. He likes to be up front with his fans. My guess is the only asterisk to that is Michigan, because those people like destroyed that stage, climbing up there to sing Until Next Time. That shit was crazy. And I've never seen that. Like I said, I've seen the Murphys in New Hampshire. I've seen the Murphys in 20 Monroe Live, and I've seen them at the Orbit Room. And even at the Orbit Room, if you know what the Orbit Room is, I think it's like, I would say like a 400 or 500 person capacity, but I was also like 17. And that was many years ago. But I can tell you, because I literally walked in and stayed in this size parameter, would not leave from the show's start to finish until I jumped up on that stage for Skinhead on the MBTA. Being a 17-year-old kid, listening to the Dropkick Murphys since you were for only a few years, and already knowing that when Ken yells Skinhead in the MBTA, you can jump that barricade, eat shit, and then climb back up on that stage. So what happened to me is, when Ken yelled that, I grabbed the barricade and thought that I could like do like a monkey kind of like leap from the barricade to the stage. And I ended up on my back, and the bouncer grabbed me and rolled me on the stage like I was a carcass. I'm like, that is not the way you make an entrance at a Murphy show. But again, I was 17, dehydrated because I would not go to the bar to get something to drink or nothing. I stood at that show from before the opening band, which was Deadly Sins, until the Murphys, we got, exited stage right. Yeah. So on stage, right. So it'd been, no, my left, your right. So we were taking off to the left, and, we got to shake hands with Ken Casey on the way out. And then right there, as you get up the stage, was the merch booth. Like, you go down these stairs and there's this room here. It's the exit, and then bam, merch booth. I'm like, that is excellent promotion. That is excellent. I bought dog tags, a t-shirt, and a hoodie from that show. That was their 10 years of service dog tags that I don't think they even sell those anymore. And I think I still have them, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyways, back on my tangent here. To have that kind of love for a band and to still have the hesitation of buying an album, it's just one of those things. But that doesn't stop it from being a good album. It's one of those ones I wish I'd have gotten. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys will check it out. And again, it is good front to back. And it's one of those ones you have to listen to. It doesn't like fade in, okay? Like, it doesn't fade into one song, like from one to another. It definitely has a CD feel to it, okay? It's not like back in the day where, like, the songs kind of blended into one another. It's not like that at all. But the tone matters. They did that set list perfectly. They couldn't have done that in any other order. It was perfect the way they did that. So if you remember Toxicity, they had solid songs, and then fucking Bounce was thrown in there. And then the rest of it was good, because Toxicity, with like 13, 14 songs on it, Bounce fucked up that whole thing. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. To have a great album and then throw Bounce in the mix, and then the rest of it's good. Bounce did to that album what a friend does at a party when he's been drinking too much. It's been going great, but then Dumbass shows up with his antics, and you're like, God. And he's just awkward, and he's weird, and he's like talking louder than he should be. He's scaring away the girls. Like, you're having a nice conversation, holding your drink. Hey, honey, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. And then your friend shows up and like ruins it all. Like, your boner's gone. Your chance of getting that girl's number is gone. And I feel like that's what Bounce did to Toxicity. Okay. There is none of that on this album. Like I said, you can end it after City by the Sea. You can end it after that. And then, you can listen to I Wish You Were Here. It is a heartfelt song. I'm not dogging on it. It's not a bad song. It's just not the tone of the melody. At least I'm not feeling it right now. In a few short weeks, I might come back up on here and say, no, you know what? It's now my favorite song on the album. That could happen. Again, this album just came out today, and I've been listening to it all day. And there's certain ones I keep going back to. That's just not one of them. It's an A album. It is an A album. Their last A plus album, I would definitely say, was Going Out in Style. It was A plus. Signed, Sealed, and Blood is an A plus album. And it's hard. You don't get to be a straight A student with all A pluses. Shit just doesn't happen. 25 years, 10 albums. And I can count on one hand of how many songs I don't like of theirs. That's a good track record to have. It's not perfect, but it's so damn close it might as well be. And why people would ever say, you know, oh, well, it's not like it was with the Gangs All Here. I'll say it. The Gangs All Here was probably their worst album. Yeah, I'll say it. If you're measuring songs and track listing and all that, you're taking all that, even the album art, you're taking all that into consideration, it's a subpar album. And it's still an A album. It's still good. There's just more songs on there that I don't like versus songs that I do. But it's still not bad. At least we got 10 years of service off that bitch. At least we got Homeward Bound, which was a solid track. We got the Gangs All Here, of course, like to close out the album. Again, just a perfect track listing. The way they set it up is perfect. They have done that with every single one of their albums, including Blackout. And I'll even say this, Blackout was an A album. Blackout wasn't that bad. People remember Blackout because of Walk Away, because of Dirty Glass, because Dropkick Murphys, they're like Warped Tour stage, right? But think about this now. They are so big they would never play a Warped Tour again, ever. So think about this for a second, right? When you're thinking about the Murphys and you're like, oh, well, I don't like it because it's like that Celtic rock. It sounds like pirate music. Well, what songs are you listening to? Because not all of it sounds the same. Now, on all of their albums, the songs sound similar, which works good for a flow. I can't imagine if you would take, just to throw in the mix here, Homeward Bound, right, and put that on this album. It just wouldn't work. It would essentially be Bounce. It would have been Bounce to this album is what it would have been, okay? So they're not going to pull out all the stops every time. They're not going to pull out fucking solid bangers front to back every single time. They're just not going to do it. No band can do that. All right. Your favorite band, tell me who they are. And they still got songs that you skip. It happens. But when it comes to this album, it is their fourth best in 25 years out of all their 10. This one is in the top 5 best Dropkick Murphys albums. That's a fact. It is great listening. It is easy listening. It is short. It's a car ride. You listen to this album and you're getting from here to where I'm at to Detroit. No problem. Yeah, it's good. It is that good. And it goes quick. It's a quick 39 minutes, right? I've listened to albums that are like 43, 45 minutes. I'm like, fuck, this feels like 2 hours. Like, some of this is just not good. But the pacing is great. There's no song that's over 4 minutes long, which is nice. You know, I don't think the Murphys have ever had a long song like that. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but then again, I couldn't think of a music video that came off of 11 Short Stories of Pain and Glory, and boy, was I wrong on that. Thanks to my memory up here. That is nicht so gut, yeah. But yeah, it's great to be back on YouTube. I hope to see you guys tomorrow night at the concert. We get to go see the Dropkick Murphys. There is no watch party feature on Facebook, so I cannot host a watch party. The last one I got to host, which was this last St. Patrick's Day, they got rid of that feature, so we don't get to have like a close-knit thing on that. So I'll probably catch you guys on the YouTube. I'll probably catch you guys on the Facebook. Thank you, Inquisitor, for tuning in. I'm glad you liked this review, and I hope that this gets people, even if you're doubting it. Like I said, I had my doubts. Even with 11 Short Stories, I had doubts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you can't imagine a band or an artist coming out with solid front to back. You feel me? But if you guys are collectors of Dropkick Murphys albums, this one needs to be in your collection. I used to have all of them, and I used to have all of their albums, all the way up to Going Out in Style. And then, unfortunately, things got stolen. You know, things ended up in a fire. Now, I didn't start it. It wasn't me getting pissed off. My ex's house burned down with all my shit in it. It sucked. But these things, they happen, you know. When you make plans, life happens. Things unexpectedly occur. But I will say this. If you are a collector and Blackout's not in it, I can kind of get it. But this one is one of those ones that you got to buy. If you're a collector, if you collect CDs, you definitely have to. But if you're a Murphys fan or you're just looking for some new music, this is a good album. I wouldn't say it's the best one they've ever done. And it's one of those ones, and this is one thing I want to say before I get off here. It's kind of short, and you kind of wish it had gone on longer, which gives it that re-listening ability. Okay? It's like, oh man, that song was so good, I'm going to listen to it again. And I can't think of the last time I've heard an album that had a song out like that I'm like, I got to listen to this. Now, what a lot of artists are doing and what a lot of bands are doing is they're pushing singles. And then that's it. And they're just trying to sell merch off those singles. What the Murphys are doing is still doing it old school, still giving you albums, vinyls for fuck's sakes. Like if you guys are vinyl collectors, get the vinyl, get it. They've already had to do if they've already had to do reprints of it, like second printings or whatever, because they were already exceeding expectations for what they had in stock, which I'm not shocked at all. There was people that were banking on this album, and a salute to them for that. But I hope that I'm going to go back and I'm going to read these reviews at some point. We're going to revisit this for my next video. So my next video, I want to do a tier list of worst to best from the Dropkick Murphys. And it's hard considering they've always put out good music. And it's only going to be for their LPs. Singles collections are omitted from this. But I'm just going to say this right here, right now to give you an idea. The Singles Collection Volume 1 is better than Volume 2, despite the fact that I like Al Barr more than I like Mike. Tell me that's not confusing based off of what I said earlier in this review. Pretty crazy, right? Like, I'm not a fan of Mike. I prefer Al Barr, but I like the songs better on the Singles Collection Volume 1 with Mike than Volume 2 with Al Barr. I know, it's a weird contradiction, but that's how good the Murphys are. All of it's good. It's just a matter of figuring out what is, like, gun to your head, what is the worst Murphy song? What is the best Murphy song? And you can't do it. You just can't, because it switches, right? Like for a while, Going Out in Style was my favorite. And then for like a week or two straight, I'm listening to Rebels with a Cause. And then, I find myself listening to Middle Finger. But I want to do it to celebrate their 25th anniversary, their 25 years of being in the music scene, doing this shit since 1996. I want to at least spend a lot of time really commemorating that. And they're doing a good job themselves. I just wish that they would have added that to their marketing for the CD. I wish it would have been 25th anniversary, right? Maybe they'll do that this year. Oh, wouldn't that be dope? A Singles Collection Volume 3, or like a Dropkick Murphys Greatest Hits album. How dope. How dope. What if this is a promotion for that? That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see that. Odds are that would be one that I'd want to own, because it's a damn good concept and a good idea. And then I'd probably go back and I'd probably get Turn Up That Dial. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Inquisitor, all the way from the pond, thank you for joining us. A salute to each and every one of you. If you guys are interested, if you guys are catching this later on, I know it's in the middle of the day. I know this channel has been essentially dead, so I'm not even upset by the lack of views. I saw some people swinging in here. I saw some of the numbers go up and then down again. So there was that. But mad love to you. Make sure you guys are checking out Turn Up That Dial. It is available now on all streaming platforms. I believe it's like Google Play, whatever the fuck that is. Spotify, which is my favorite. I'm sure it's on Pandora, which I think you need premium for that. I don't know. I haven't touched Pandora since I discovered Spotify Premium, which is always superior and always the best. And if you guys ain't down with this, fuck what you think. Say goodnight to the bad fucking guy. And I'll catch you on the next one. Mad love and mad respect. It's good to be back.